Welcome to the Bucket List Buster Travel Show. Your Bucket List Buster Travel Show helps you make your bucket list dreams come true. Host Karen Duncan spent decades running the travel business. She, along with other industry experts, share their knowledge, travel stories, and wisdom about how to travel, where to travel, and how to have a stress-free adventure. Tune in, give yourself permission to focus on yourself, create lifelong memories with families and friends, and finally learn to relax, rejuvenate, and reconnect. And here's the host of your show, Karen Duncan.
Aloha, buenos dias, ni hao, yahate, bula, guten tag, bonjour, jumbo, boa tarde, everything's Irie, and good afternoon. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Good day. How is everyone doing out there in your bucket list buster land? This is Karen Duncan, your bucket list buster, live from Panama, Central America. And today we are talking about Alaska. For you that are listening for the first time, I've been in the travel business for over 24 years now, running Peaks Cruises and Tours, and we specialize in group trips, but I'm also an adjunct professor at a local community college in Austin, Texas, and we are expats. We've been in Panama exactly a year now. We moved here last April, and so we talk about all things related to travel, bucket lists, travel experiences of a lifetime, relaxing, rejuvenating, reconnecting, and what it's like to be an expat. So this week's show, as some of you may know, I just got back, Mitchell and I just got back from a bucket list trip. We took an amazing trip, a cruise from Yokohama, Japan, through Russia, and then up through Alaska to Vancouver. So today's show is all about that trip. I wanted to be able to tell you some details. Mitchell is supposed to come on live today to talk about it from his perspective, so you hear a different voice regarding the trip. But just so you get an idea about what this was like, we came back and we have booked group space to take some of our friends, family, listeners, anybody that's been interested in Alaska. You need to get on board with us for next year, June 2020, to go to Alaska. I'll have more details about that later on in the show. So this is what today's show is about. If you've had any interest in Alaska, you will enjoy today's show. But before we get there, I like to say welcome to my friends on Spotify, Apple, Spreaker, and now iHeartRadio. Those of you that are listeners on a regular basis and those that are new, hello, happy day. I hope you had a good Memorial weekend for those of you that are in the United States. And for those of you around the rest of the world, I hope you're having a fantastic day. So I also like to let people know where my listeners are coming from. The majority of you are in the United States, but I've got listeners from Panama, Germany. What's up, Canada? Vancouver was gloomy when I was there a couple weeks ago, but beautiful. New Zealand, India, Italy, Mexico, Norway, and now Guatemala. So hello, Mountain View, California, where the largest number of you are listening from, Westland, Oregon, Panama City, Panama, Washington, D.C., Honolulu, Hawaii, aloha, Orlando, Florida, Happy Valley, Oregon, Princeton, Canada, Portland, Oregon, and Burnham, Minnesota. I do appreciate you guys listening. I would also appreciate it If you would like us or subscribe so that you know when our episodes are coming on and you don't miss it. And give me some feedback. Let me know other things that you would like to listen to. Well, I know that I told you, this is my thought for the week, that while I was on this trip, I was going to be doing all kinds of social media. I was going to be podcasting and all of that. And then when I got on the trip and I started to do that, I recognized that I was being somewhat of a hypocrite. Because I started this show because I really believe everyone deserves the right to have vacation time. I think it makes you a better human for a lot of reasons. Travel is good for the soul. It's good for learning about other cultures. But it also helps you to rejuvenate yourself. We're so connected. And I've preached about this forever, but I really want you to know that you need to disconnect sometimes in order to be a better employee, husband, wife, mother, father, whatever it is. So when I got there and I started doing this, I realized that I was missing out on a lot of the opportunity that was before me that I wanted to see so desperately and be a part of and experience the cultures of these places that I had never been before. So I stopped and just decided I was going to take it all in. I was going to take lots of pictures and just experience it for what it was. And then I would relate that information back to my listeners and followers once I got back home. So I hope you understand that. And when you get to these destinations or go to a place that you've been really, really wanting to go to most of your life, you'll understand that if you do all of the social media stuff that goes along with that, then you really do miss out on some opportunities. So I decided to relax, rejuvenate, and reconnect. Had a fantastic time. So with that, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into the rest of the show. This is Karen Duncan, your bucket list buster. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's always time to start planning your vacations and getaways. Where do you start? You start with Peaks Cruises and Tours. They can help you customize your family group's special family needs, girlfriend or guy friend getaways, adult-only singles and couples, incentive travel groups, hobby sports and association groups, milestone events like birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, promotions, divorces, and your bucket list. Exactly like you want it. At Peaks, you'll find they are destination specialists for destinations all over the globe. They have relationships and are specialists with the top brands and suppliers in the industry. They offer best value for any budget. They provide services for special needs clients as special needs group ambassadors. Peaks Cruises and Tours takes the stress out of travel planning by providing many types of travel: group travel management, cruises, guided tours, resorts, sports, and active, VIP upgrades and components like air, hotel, customized tours, dining, and transportation arrangements. So don't spend nights on the computer. Just go straight to peakscruisestours.com. Fill out a contact form and with some details, and someone from Peaks will contact you immediately. That's peakscruisestours.com. Welcome back to your Bucket List Buster. This is Karen Duncan, your host, and as I promised, we actually have Mitchell Duncan on the show today. We wanted to talk to you about this super fun bucket list adventure that we just came back from. Mitchell, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
North to Alaska.
We went someplace other than Alaska. Let's start with the rest of it. Who are you?
I'm Mitchell Duncan, and I'm Vice President of Operations for Peaks Cruises and Tours.
And also otherwise known as my significant other.
Yes.
So what does the Vice President of Operations for Peaks Cruises and Tours do?
Well, I make sure that everything that you promise on the front end, I have to deliver on the back end. So it's the billing, it's, handling the reservations, making sure the airlines are right. I mean, just making sure
the details are taken care
exactly.
of. Okay, that's exactly what you do. Yes, he's also the money man. So when you send in your payments, he's the one that makes sure that they're processed perfectly and they go on the right reservation. And then I get to continue talking to people on the air. So while he's doing all that stuff. So let's talk about how you got the travel bug and when.
I got the travel bug as a young kid. I traveled with my parents. They were part of a travel club, and they would travel overseas and go on cruises. They didn't take us on cruises, but they did take us to Disneyland, and we went to the World's Fair, and we would take road trips, and we would take a lot of airline trips. So it's been in my blood for a long time.
Long time. And so when we kind of met, that was one of the prerequisites, I think, from each of us was making sure that the other person traveled well.
That was exactly something I was looking at. Somebody I could share some space with.
There you go. And we share little bitty spaces and big spaces. So what was your last adventure?
My last adventure was a trans-Pacific cruise from Yokohama, Japan to Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was.
And so on that cruise, we went to a couple stops in Japan, one in Russia, and then we came from north to south in Alaska and ended up in Vancouver, Canada.
Right. So technically we went from Yokohama to Sapporo, Japan. Then we stopped in, I can't pronounce this very well, but Petropavlovsk, Russia. And then we hit Seward, Alaska, we cruised the Hubbard Glaciers, Juneau, Icy Strait Point, Ketchikan, cruised the Inside Passage, and ended in Vancouver. So to me, this was a bucket list. I wanted to see Japan. I wanted to do Alaska. What about you?
It was a bucket list for me. I wasn't so... but Japan wasn't quite on my bucket list, but Alaska has been on my bucket list for a long time.
Yeah, because you're pretty outdoorsy. You spent some time in Yellowstone as a young college student, right?
Yeah, last century.
Last century, exactly, last century. You laugh, but that's the truth. Yeah, so, Alaska, I can see why Alaska was on your bucket list. In fact, your nickname, because of Yellowstone was what?
Smokey.
Smokey the Bear.
Smokey
the Bear. And we got a little Smokey the Bear story about when we were in Alaska. We'll get to that. So in Japan, your thoughts about Japan? What did you do in Japan that you really liked?
One of the things I did like going to Chinatown, which is one of the the largest, I guess, China enclaves outside of China.
Right.
And I got a chance to get the
Wagyu
beef,
right,
which was big. I had been seeing that a lot around, and I wanted to try that because I'm a carnivore.
Yeah.
So to see some beef like that was supposed to be all of this, all of that. Well, it was all of this and all of that.
Yes, it was. And just so you know, I talked about we live in Panama now. And the one thing about Panama is the beef can be a little challenging, finding some good beef. And having moved here from the state of Texas where beef is king, it's been quite a transition for you.
Right. And we have to go to a specialty store if we want quality beef.
Right.
And I don't want to make any Panamanians mad or anything like that. But the